All right. The AP gods decided to add this into the curriculum this year. You're welcome. So it was not in the book, but they might put it on the AP exam, so we might as well learn it. I've actually seen systematic random sampling a bunch of times on multiple choice stuff. I just never picked it because it wasn't in the book. But now it's in the book, or I guess they added it. So you need to know systematic random sampling. It's pretty easy. All right, so we learned how to do a simple random sample, a stratified random sample, and a cluster sample, okay? For an SRS, remember it's the same group of size, whatever, 30, has an equal chance of being chosen. For stratified, you group them alike, and for cluster, they're in a similar location, but they need to represent the sample, so they need to be mixed up, okay? So for a systematic random sample, you're going to select a sample from an ordered arrangement of the population by randomly selecting one of the first K individuals and choosing every Kth individual thereafter. So maybe you have everybody line up to come into the school in the morning, and there's 1,000 Devlin kids, and I want a sample of 100. So if there's 1,000 Devlin kids, and I want a sample of 100, that means I need every 10th student. All right. So again, this is my population size, and you divide by the sample size that you want. The population is 1,000, but I want a sample of 100 of the kids. So I need every 10th kid, and let's just pretend that all the kids walk in the front doors, even though they don't. Okay, let's say they all come in one door and they all come in single file. Then I could do every 10th kid. Now, you want to make sure you have a starting point. So the first thing you have to do is rand int 1 through 10. Let's say that gives you 7. Okay, you just randomly pick one. That means you're going to start with the 7th person to enter. Okay, because of random integer I picked. And then I want every 10th after that. So the next person would be the 17th person and the 27th person and the 37th person to walk in until you get your 100 people. That's systematic random sampling, okay? Doesn't have to always be every 10th. Could be every 20th person, however you divide your numbers, okay? But always divide your population by your sample size. That's how you know every whatever number. So remember the sampling at the school assembly activity or whatever we talked about, all right? A simple random sample was just out of all 800 students, and we picked 80 randomly, okay? When we did stratified, they sat in groups going across. So I would pick 20 freshmen, 20 sophomores, 20 juniors, 20 seniors. And we did clusters. We went down the aisles so that we got different students from each grade, okay? What if I wanted a systematic random sample? Okay, well, it says that there were 800 students at the assembly. So I have 800 students in my population, and we wanted a sample size of 80. So I'm going to divide by 80, which means, again, I'm picking every 10th person, okay? You need to pick a starting point, though. So again, the first step is random integer 1 through 10. If it was every 50th person, you would do random integer 1 through 50 to get a starting point. And then you would add 50 to that number until you got your total number, okay? So again, this is the answer to it. Choose a starting point by randomly selecting a starting number from 1 to 10. And then let's say we get 6. Then you would do the 6th person, the 16th person, the 26th person, and so on until you get the 796th student that enters the assembly. You could do it by how they enter the room, or you could also do it by how they're seated, okay? It would still be systematic random sampling. Everybody good with what that is? All right, 2 other quick definitions that go with observational studies. And again, these are not on your definitions list that I gave you the other day, so make sure you write these down. Observational studies that examine existing data for a sample of individuals are called retrospective. We're examining existing data. So retro, think past. All right, so it's past data that already exists. And then observational studies that track individuals into the future are called prospective. So maybe I enroll a bunch of kindergartners. I randomly assign some of them to take a new kindergarten program, and the rest of them are going to do the traditional kindergarten program. And I want to know how successful they are in high school, okay? So that's going to track them into the future. So that's prospective.